Here's the raw truth, broken down in a way that doesn't sugarcoat anything, just real talk. The story of how Trump met Epstein, and why it matters. Trump and Epstein met back in the late 1980s, likely through New York high society, a world where billionaires, socialites, models, and powerful men crossed paths at the same parties, the same clubs, the same inner circles. They weren't just acquaintances, they partied together, laughed together, and were seen in public together for years. A 1992 video from NBC shows Trump and Epstein at Mar-a-Lago surrounded by cheerleaders, laughing and pointing at women on the dance floor. It's on camera. This wasn't a one-time handshake, they knew each other. Trump himself even once said, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." Yeah, he actually said that. The accusations, Epstein and Trump. Now here's where it gets darker. Epstein was accused of running a massive sex trafficking ring, targeting underage girls, some as young as 14. He had mansions in New York, Florida, the Virgin Islands, and more, places where girls were allegedly brought in, abused, and traded like property for the elite. There's a court document from 2016, known as Jane Doe vs. Trump and Epstein, in which a woman said Trump and Epstein raped her at a party when she was 13. The case was dropped, but many believe it was due to threats and fear, not innocence. Add to that, Epstein's plain logs, guest lists, photos, and testimonies from dozens of survivors. This isn't smoke. This is fire. So why should Melania be looked at too? Let's be clear, Melania Trump might not have been directly involved in Epstein's crimes, but here's why people are asking questions. She was there. She attended some of the same events, the same circles, and even shows up in pictures with Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's infamous partner in crime. Silence is complicity. She has never spoken up about her husband's disturbing connections to Epstein or stood with the victims. Not once. That matters. Knowledge is power. If she knew what was happening, and stayed quiet, then people believe she helped protect the predator circle. Some say even if she didn't help carry it out, she helped cover it up by doing nothing. And let's not forget, Trump and Melania were married during all this. She knew his lifestyle. She knew his friends. She knew his power trips. So the question is, how much did she know and when? Because that's what trials are for, to find out the truth. What this means for us. This ain't about politics, it's about power, privilege, and predators getting away with crimes just because they're rich and famous. Meanwhile, the working class folks get locked up for way less. Let's cut the cute stuff and get to it. Y'all really still out here acting like Trump and Epstein were just passing strangers, like two dudes who just happened to show up in the same photo. Nah fam, this wasn't no accident, this was a whole social circle of sick rich folks taking advantage of power and playing in plain sight while we worked paychecks and prayed for justice that never came. Back in the 80s and 90s these two were thick as thieves, rolling through Mar-a-Lago and fancy clubs in New York like it was their playground, partying with girls barely out of high school, acting like kings while the rest of us struggled to keep lights on and food on the table. And we ain't guessing here, we got the footage. 1992 NBC tape, yeah, the one where they pointing out cheerleaders like it's a shopping mall of flesh. And what did Trump say? Epstein was terrific, and that he liked beautiful women, many of them on the younger side. He ain't hide it, he said it with his chest. This ain't no tinfoil theory, it's court records, it's video, it's history they hope you forget. They were neighbors in Palm Beach. Epstein was at Trump's events like he owned a damn seat at the table, Logan smilin' Ming Lin. And behind closed doors it was a house of horrors. Now you tell me what kind of man surrounds himself with that and calls it normal. And for all the folks crying they had a fallout in 2004, please don't insult our intelligence. It wasn't over morals, it was over money, a bidding war for a property, greed not guts. And let's not forget Trump supposedly banned him from Mar-a-Lago after Epstein got creepy with a teen, but only after Epstein already had a whole rap sheet growing, so no medals for late action. Then Epstein finally gets locked up and what happens? Trump's name pops up in the flight logs, not once, 7 times. And yeah, one survivor said she never saw Trump touch anyone, but she sure saw some disgusting things in Epstein's home. And let me tell you, if you walk into somebody's house and see that kind of filth and still choose to chill, then you ain't innocent, you're part of the problem. And before anyone says leave Melania out of it, nah, she was there, at the same events, smilin' in those photos, not sayin' a damn thing all these years. Silence don't mean innocence, silence means protection, and when it comes to predators, silence helps them keep huntin'. This ain't just about Trump or Epstein, it's about how power protects itself while regular folks get locked up for being late on bills or marchin' in the street. It's about how billionaires move like gods while we keep getting stepped on. So no, I won't stop talking about this, and I won't pretend Trump was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was in the circle, Logan jokin' hypin' Epstein up, and if you still defend him, you're choosin' lies over truth and fantasy over facts. Roast of the day, if you still out here worshipping a man who partied with predators and bragged about it, you need less red hats and more red flags. This video was made with AI. I use my picture but AI gives it movement. I just love to be different from everyone else. But Santiago D.C. Maria Newsflash Facebook. Wrote every word. Thank you for listening, love you all always.